Okay. All right, welcome yogis. Mwah. I want to introduce something this morning, and it's not going to be the main focus of our practice, but it's been something that I've been kind of thinking about, and I feel like it's going to come out along the way, and maybe like on Sunday, or I'm not sure, I can't predict how things are going to go, but we might delve in a little deeper. I just want to introduce this. So a couple of weeks ago or last week, we were talking about like the diamond of the chest. And if we think of the outer sides and then right at the little base of the throat and the solar plexus, maybe it's not quite a diamond, but this idea of like that your torso is like a kite that's anchored by the spinal cord right down into your sit bones, or right at the base tailbone. And so we're talking about the diamond. Okay, so sometimes I'll say too, your hips are also a diamond. If you think of it, you use your imagination a little bit. Front of the pubic bone, the sacrum, and the outer hips, and it is a hinge. Mimics the jaw. Is also, if you open your mouth wide and you think, okay, it's a diamond. And then we have also the diamond of the clavicles and the shoulders. So this connection. So this is what I just want to explore. If you take your fingers and you find this base of your throat, the clavicle notches here, and just you could tap or just trace along these bones until your fingers come to the right, like where the shoulders the arms kind of connect to the shoulders here. So you find that little connection here. So these are the two sides. And then you're now going to take your hands, you're going to have to lift them up, and we're not going for the neck, below the neck. You find like that, the cervical notch, and where the cervical spine, it's the vertebrae of the spine, become the thoracic. So right up at the upper chest and upper chest, upper back, between the shoulder blades. And that's kind of the other side. So I'm just going to turn around. So it's like, here's the neck, and it's kind of just below there. And you can feel the bone there, and then you can slide your fingers along the tops of the shoulder blades if you can reach tops of the arm bones, and then the front. Yeah. And we talked too about how like the shoulders can move pretty independently. The hips can move independently, but not the same kind of freedom. And as we age, we end up with these, shoulder stuff happening, or one shoulder worse than the other. It's so common. If we think about balancing this whole shoulder, I'm going to call it the shoulder diamond. And so that you feel like the fronts is not, it's not lower than the back. It's not higher than the back. Kind of find this place as best as you can while you're sitting. Just how can I balance this? So maybe you have to lift up in the back a little bit. You're just exploring it. And then feel, the expansion out from the whole girdle out to the arm. So just whether, you're there or not, as I always say, you're just embodying this information. You're just feeling it. How can I find a balance so I'm carrying this, shoulder girdle is not tilting forward or back. And so just take a moment. And then with that information, as you keep exploring that, let your eyes gently close. And if you find it, you might experience that as this little diamond, this little shoulder diamond, becomes more balanced, you might feel it supports the arms, and the arms can just kind of hang. They're just hanging out of their sockets. So you might experience that. Okay, and then opening this practice. So as you inhale, find your length, your balance. And as you exhale, bring your hands together in front of your heart and bow your chin. And in this place, just find the balance of the shoulder girdle, even with the head dropping a little bit. Notice if that changes anything. And on your next inhale, we'll lengthen, lift the chin. Exhale this breath. And we'll inhale fully for Om. Oh. Release your hands. Open your eyes. Okay, let's stay sitting we're going to come back to sitting. I'm going to say this. We're going to come back to sitting. Let's take a downward dog just to kind of bring ourselves into this space we call yoga. And let's do this slowly. Even if you're up, come back down. Spread your fingers, anchor your arms, and now look at, sometimes we move the inner elbows. And take your inner elbows, this eyes of the arms, and just point them towards your thumbs. So just take a look, aiming towards the thumbs. And then just see, can I balance my shoulder girdle here before I come up? Just take a moment to I said we weren't going to do a full class on it, but here we go. So just take a moment. This just, I did this in downward dog yesterday and really changed things a lot for me. So I guess that's why I want to do that here with you. So just feel, and then when you're ready, lift your knees, press up, and then take your attention to this idea of, finding the balance in the shoulder girdle or the shoulder diamond, shoulder kite, and just be with that, and then once you're in it, take your inner elbows and just turn them forward and notice what happens. And for some of us, that might feel awesome. You press through the arms and then turn the eyes of the arms in and see what that does. And you might find you're bending your elbows. So now I'll take those eyes of the arms towards the thumbs. Okay, and then be here for a few more breaths, just playing with that or being in your legs. Good. And then we'll come back to sitting. So, okay, sit on whatever you like and however you like, cross-legged or Halasana, whatever you like. I'm sitting on my bolster. You can put a blanket under your feet if you like. And okay, so we're gonna play with this one more time here and twist. So just pause, let your hands kind of draw it back down to about middle of the thigh. And then just feel this, you could even use your hands, like a lot of us tend to collapse the inner chest here. So just feel, can I balance this? You might notice your head. Also the neck might feel more supported. Just let the arms kind of hang. Good. Okay. And then from here, we're just going to turn the center of the chest towards the right. You can let your left hand just rest maybe in front of the shin, and the right hand can come behind. I happen to have a block here. I'm going to put it on the block, but it can go on the floor. Okay. And then now take your head and maybe turn it more to the left. So it's not in this. Okay. And now what we're going to do here is this left outer hip. You know how when we have our leg lifted and I say press that outer hip away, push this left hip towards the left side waist down and see if that turns you a little bit more. And then just try and balance the shoulder girdle as much as you can. And then once you're here, if you wish to turn your head. And so you might experience, if you're focusing on the balance of the shoulders, that the neck has a little more freedom. So keep anchoring through the left side of your waist down. Okay, one more moment. Notice if the shoulders are tense, can you soften them? And then release, come and sit. Stretch your legs out if you need to. I'm going to change the cross of the legs for the second side and pause. Okay, take a moment. Just feel for yourself. Maybe you have to lift up in the upper back. And then turn your chest, face this left knee. The right hand maybe rests and the left hand comes behind, but at a comfortable place. And then once you feel you're here, start to anchor the right side waist down as if you want to push that right sit bone down a little more, and you might experience your turning. Now bring your head just towards the right. So we just take the head and neck out of it and just be with this idea of balancing your shoulder girdle a little bit. you're just experiencing it. So it doesn't need to be anything more than just the experience. And then your head can turn and just notice, maybe you feel I can find more freedom for the neck or the arms. And the twist is coming more from internal action. Okay. Release. Great. Stretch your legs out. Move your toes around. And then while we're here, we'll just do, just going to lift the arms. So take your arms out in front of you, just like this. Okay. Find the balance in your shoulder girdle. So maybe we suck the arms back and let them rest. Find it. And then on an inhale, start to take the arms up. And notice, when, maybe the chest starts to lift, you're more, come back so that you feel that everything is as balanced as it could be, even if you need to bend your elbows to make that connection. So take your time. Just be here. Okay, also notice one side different than the other. And like I said at the beginning, we all have one side that is weaker than the other. Good. Okay, and now we're just going to extend the arms. So you're just going to get, even if your arms are out here, just get really long with the arms without lifting the shoulders up. Just let the shoulders still be loosey-goosey, relaxy, but the extension is from the arms. One more moment. Balance yourself as best as you can. Good. And then we're just going to go twist to the left, just as you do, just go into your twist like as if any other day, and just notice now when you're in your twist, is your torso balanced? Are you, like I know for myself, I'm probably at a very nice C, deep inside. So I'm just going to find as best as I can any balance, anchoring through this right hip, sideways towards the right. Your head, is it comfortable? The neck comfortable? Okay, inhale. And then exhale, release. Let's just pause. If you need to stretch your legs out, you do that. Feel the expansive breath. Maybe your shoulders already starting to feel a little more relaxed. Yeah. Okay. And then we're just going to lift the arms again. This time I'm going to interlace the fingers. It's going to change things. So let's start with the arms out. Balance yourself as best as you can. Good. And now bring the hands together. Your habitual interlace, extend out. And okay, let's lift up. I was going to pause, but let's lift up and then feel here. As one side, for me, I know the chest is lifting and the back is dropping. So I'm going to find the balance, even if you need to bend your elbows, find the balance. And what might happen, is I find the balance as best as I can imagine. I've got it. I'm going to press up. I get the length in the side waist. I'm going to release the shoulder tension. And then the extension is really from the arms. As if you're almost lifting yourself up, like you're a kite just floating away. And then just feel the anchor of the lower spine towards the tailbone. If your arms are getting tired, soften the shoulders a little more. Maybe let the jaw go. That's where, the jaw, the neck, the shoulders, so deeply connected for tension. One more breath. And then as you exhale, we'll just go straight to twist on the right side. You'll just go into your twist. And then you're going to explore your twist. So you feel, it's one hip anchoring more. Am I leaning back? What am I doing here? My shoulders, one lifted, one dropping. Can I find some balance? So if I drop that sideways towards the hip, I balance the hips a little more. And now I'm just going to explore the shoulders as they are, from the clavicle, from the mid-back, mid-upper back, to the shoulder bones. And then hopefully there's some more freedom in the neck. Okay, release. Okay, we're going to come back to downward facing dog. So just bring yourself back. We're gonna lie over a bolster in a moment. I just tell you that nothing more is gonna happen here. But as you place your hands, turn the eyes of the arms to your thumbs. Tuck your toes under. Take a moment to just feel here, you know, are you in cat? Are you in cow? Can you find balance in your hip creases, shoulders, the sides of the neck? When you're ready, you'll press yourself up and back, and then you're just looking for that same freedom. So when we come into downward dog, you know, the neck is long, the shoulder girdle is balanced, and it's supporting the arms without, exhausting anything. And, you know, it's so easy to say it. I can just say it, but there's a lot of work to experience all of that. So you're just, you know, illuminating new things to look at. Okay, take two more breaths here. And then let's come into child's pose any way you like, knees wide, knees together. And as I come in, you know, the arms might extend for a few moments just to open the breath. And then I'm going to sweep the arms back. So if that works for the position you've chosen, it's just to let the shoulders just drop, the head drop. And just breathe like you're a little seed in the ground, full of potential. Good. Okay. And we'll press ourselves up. All right. Okay, so we're going to set up. You're going to take your 2 blankets, and we'll just put one on either side of the center of your mat. And then we're going to take the block. And the block will go, you know, a long way. And then the bolster is going to go in the middle. And I'm just going to slide mine up a little bit because I'm right against the wall. I'm going to want to stretch the legs out. So there we go. Okay. Just blankets, a bolster, and a block. And you're going to decide, you know, let's bring the other block. Somebody might want to have another block nearby. So just bring it up so you have it. And I'm just looking at my camera angle. I'm just going to change it slightly. Okay. All right. So we're going to start lying down over this. And I'm going to place, say, you know, the tops of the hip bones. No, hip creases. I'm going to say hip creases are at the edge of the bolster. And then you want to feel that the block is hitting you about solar plexus. So about bottom of the ribs, maybe upper chest. And, you know, then you can also wiggle yourself forward and back. There's no hard and soft rule here. Can't have the toes tucked under. Your legs can be however far apart you like. And then I'm going to start to just bring myself into lying down over the support. So here's where, if you want another block, you know, you might use that to support your head. It could go any height. Or you just let your head go and you'll use your hands if you like. So, you know, if I tuck my chin in, I can actually rest my nose on the bolster. But that, you know, whatever it is. So, okay. And we're just using this shape. Nothing about the shoulder girdle. This is just to bring some breath into the back body, to open the back. I'm going to say it that simply. So if you're feeling like a stretch or release or anything, that's beautiful. And then just rest and breathe into that. And if you don't feel anything, maybe you just kind of wiggle yourself forward and back, or find a place that you can also benefit from this if you're not getting it right away. Okay, and now wherever you're at here in this restful place, use your breath to expand yourself. As if you're a container and you're just filling yourself up with fresh everything. Or you're a balloon and you're blowing it up and releasing the air. Just be with the expansion of your breath and the relaxation of your body, the heaviness of your body. Okay, so stay here. There's always room to drop in more. How can you find it? How can you release yourself a little more? Okay, and then you're going to stay here. We're not coming out, but maybe you bend your knees. You can bring the feet to touch each other there and just feel what that is. Soften yourself here as much as you can. Release your thighs. Just means if you're gripping at all, let it go. If you've bent your knees, then maybe you separate your feet and we'll just go to like, a baby windshield wiper. Just moving your feet side to side. So you might even be feeling the rolling over this bolster side to side. Okay, you can keep your head down, but if you want to come up to like a semi-sphinx, you could do that. I'm now going to just egg beat these legs very slowly, and I put these blankets on the side. So if you need extra cushioning for your knees, you can just grab them and put them in. Good. And then if you've egg beated on this way for a while now, just change the direction. So just allowing this gentle swaying. Good. Okay, I'm just going to come back to this windshield wiper action, just rolling the feet side to side. I'm going to let the feet drop towards the left and just soften in there. So they could be touching the ground and they might not be. You could also just take your right foot and maybe you just support it into the crook of the left knee, the back of the knee, if that works. And then in this uneven place, breathe. Okay, if you have lifted your head, you're on your forearms, maybe you stretch your arms straight up in front of you, palms down. And then I'm just going to balance the head and the neck. Good, okay. And then just move your feet over to the right. Maybe the left foot's going to hook behind the right, or just hang, whatever they're doing. And then send your breath into this opening. Take one more breath. And then bring your feet back up. Maybe if you need to stretch your legs out, that's fine. But what I'm going to do here is take this left forearm parallel, take the right hand, find the right foot, and then I'll take the left leg out. So you're just holding the foot. You've taken your thumb in line with the fingers. This right foot is probably just going to drop out to the right, but you want to try and just work it to come back to what you feel is center. And then just gently push the foot into the hand, just so we start to move this right shoulder away from the ear. Notice if the left shoulder is doing, I just noticed my left shoulder's coming forward. I'm going to let that relax. And then I'm just here. Maybe there's a lift. Okay, and I'm really dropping the belly into the bolster. Okay, and then once you have this, you can stay right here. I'm going to start to lay down over the bolster again and just let the head hang. I'm using this foot, I'm pushing the hand away, or pushing the hand away. The foot's drawing the hand away. So maybe that head can just kind of hang. You can activate your foot a little bit, anchor the thigh into the floor. One more moment, let your head hang a little more, and then release and come into your version of rest here, if that's Sphinx or lying down, or readjusting. I'm just coming back to the very beginning. Both legs are extended, the toes are tucked under. So this is our pseudo shavasana here, just feeling. Okay, and then we'll go straight to the second side. So the right forearm parallel, you'll bend your left leg, reach back, grab it, and then you bring yourself forward and just kind of find that gentle press so that you feel the arm coming back and the shoulder opening. And then maybe you can find that place where, you know, the foot's doing the work. Maybe you anchor the thigh. Your foot is winging out to the left, where your shin is. Bring it back in as best as you can. So you feel like, you know, your wrist is in line with your shoulder. And then the head can hang. Okay. Now I'm just releasing that left hip back to the bolster. The thigh is, you know, connected to the earth as best as you can. Good. Okay, release, come to your version of rest, whatever that is. Okay, so just as you are, you know, I want you to just remember back to, like, you know, 3 minutes ago when you first lay over here, and whatever you're experiencing in your low back or any opening, notice if it's shifted. Okay. And then we'll come up to Sphinx. You might come up onto your hands just for, oh, actually, let's do that. That felt so good. I just took the hands back, just press up a little bit, maybe move a little bit side to side. Okay, here's the next one. And you might adjust where you have this block. I think it's good for me is I'm going to tuck my toes under. I'm going to take one leg out and then the other leg out. And then you could bring them down. Now, if this doesn't work for you, you just widen your legs out and then turn your, I was going to say turn the heels in towards each other, but I think if your legs are, if you're not bending at the knees, turn the heels away from each other as best as you can. But if you can bend the knees, you could bring the feet together. It's all fine. We're little froggies here. Okay, so I'm going to stay with my hands on Sphinx and just breathe. Okay, now they can be, you know, your legs can be a little closer together. You find that place where you feel, you know, this opening happening, this nice support of the bolster, hopefully, nice. So that you're not working on the lift, but we have this, like, you know, relationship to gravity here. Okay, I'm going to find this place where the back of the head is, I think, in line with the back of the spine. And then I'm just melting through the hips, the outer hips. Okay, if you're with me on the bent knees, I'm going to play with the feet a little bit. So I flex the feet. I'm going to just press into the big toe edge and lift the heels a little bit. That's going to change, you know, the heel to hip relationship is going to change the hip placement. Okay, and then if you're with me on that, the next thing I'm going to do is really anchor the knees down as if the knees want to pull in towards each other. That's also going to release a little bit of this, you know, when we just relax. Now bringing some tension into your hips, soften the jaw. So, you know, the big outer big toes are anchored, the heels are lifting, the knees are anchored. And I'm almost like as if I want to pull the floor together with the knees. Soften the upper back, the right shoulder, the left shoulder, because you're not working to keep the chest up. Hopefully, you know, you got your block. One more moment. Okay, now just completely relax. I'm going to just stay in this shape, but if you want to stretch your legs and come back to our pseudo shavasana position here, let that all go. Okay, so if you have your knees out, you're going to just lift your heels, tuck your toes under, and then straighten your legs so that the knees don't get caught. Then you can kind of find your way back. Okay, we're going to have the legs together. So find your place here. I'm still on this bolster height. If you're getting tired of it, you can change it. Okay, so I have the toes tucked under. I'm just going to press out through the feet and the heels, and that might lift the thighs. Okay, you can be in Sphinx position here. Now I'm just going to raise the heels up, and that's going to move me forward, and then I'm moving the heels back. We're just going for like a little surf ride on this little shape here. So you're just moving your heels. And then if you feel so inclined, you can take your arms out like you're flying and just be here. Extend from that shoulder, center where the arms reach, or the arms hang from the shoulder bone. Extend from there, from the upper back, from the collarbones. Okay, one more, and then relax. Woo. Okay. So my legs are still together. Okay, I'm going to take the right forearm to the floor, bend the left knee, reach back, grab your foot. And then now we have the knees closer together. Last time we didn't do it this way. So I'm just going to start to push. You're just finding that, whatever it is. You might come up higher. If you feel like, I want to come up higher, you do that. But it's really about this connection, getting the shoulder back, feeling the thigh on the floor. Okay, now my right toes are tucked under. I'm going to push through the right heel and maybe get that thigh to lift a little bit. And I'll take the right arm, reach it forward. Breathe. And then lovingly release, and you get to rest. Okay. Whatever you can move forward and back on this. Any place you have, you're resting with this block underneath some part of your body, you're inviting in breath. So don't worry too much about, mine feels better lower, mine feels better higher. Whatever feels better is where you should be. No should, is where you will be. Okay, second side. So left forearm, right leg bends, catch the foot, and then just play by yourself. You just press back. Okay, I'm going to tuck the left toes under, press through the heel, and then maybe extend the left arm. We've got this nice balance happening. Okay, here it's interesting. We're pushing the right foot. So it's opening this right shoulder back. And then if I take the left arm forward, that left shoulder is coming forward. I'm just going to find some balance in the shoulder girdle. See what that does. Okay, release and rest. This is our last time. We're going to come off this in a moment. Okay, all right, we're going to press up and back. I'm going to say maybe we're going to go to child's pose, but if you feel like, down dog would feel really good, and do that first. And then I feel like for child's pose, we could use this bolster and the block to support it. So I'm just in downward dog. I'm just going to push the thighs back, open the low back, wag the tail a little bit. And then we'll come down for child's pose. Okay, so just resting. My head nicely supported on this block. Tuck the chin. And then your arms can go forward or out to the side or back or underneath your head. Okay, notice the scruff of your neck. Is it tilting down? Can you lift it up? And in that instruction, we're also, as we lift the back of the neck, we're extending the back of this shoulder triangle. We're lifting it up. Triangle, diamond, all the shapes. It's your sacred geometry. Okay, and then press yourself upright. Good. Okay. All right, we're going to turn around. We're going to lie over this. It's nice sometimes to have the teeter-totter. I've had a little bit of vertigo these last few days, and apparently it's going around, so I don't know if anybody else is having that. So when I drop the head back, it's particularly not happy. So I will put the block there, but you do what you like. Okay, and then we're just going to come to sit. I'm going to sit right on the bolster. You might end up sliding off. You have your blankets there too if you need it. I'm going to come to lie down where I can get this block underneath, supporting the chest. Then the head might drop if you don't have vertigo or neck issues. Woo. Okay. So just be here for a few moments. You could take your arms down. You could cross them over your body if your arms aren't happy with this hang. Okay. And then feel free, your feet are bent. Maybe you walk them forward or back. You just kind of explore. You can lift your hips. Melt your body in here to a place that's going to be really beneficial for you. So I have a block under my head. What I'm doing might be like great for you, and it might not be. And then I'll keep the knees bent. I'm just going to heel toe the feet a little wider and bring the knees together. And we'll just breathe here. Okay. So if I take my attention to this shoulder diamond, I can feel that the back of the heart, the back of the girdle, is lifting higher. So I'm just going to lift myself up, pull that part down, and then come back. And then I feel like, okay, everything's a little more free. So if you are, I just share that. If you're experiencing that, then maybe you need an adjustment. Okay, take one more breath. All right, we're going to really soften the hips down, even if they're hanging. And then separate the knees. Let's come to our good friend, windshield wiper. And the other day in class, we did this from the hips, so feel free to bring that in. It maybe it's going to change, it's not of course, every time we put a prop underneath us, we change the action. So whatever it is in this, wherever you are here, just be with that for a few moments. Okay, come back. All right, now we're going to take this little teeter-totter. So I'm going to keep something under my head just to keep the dizzies away. We'll walk the feet in towards the hips, and they're going to be hip distance apart, but they could be further away. Put your arms wherever you like, and then just start to lift your hips up to a comfortable place, and then it's the lowering down. Think of lengthening the tail of the kite every time you come down. And we'll just do this a few times. Think of this as your cat-cow. So maybe the tail of the kite from the base of it is doing the lifting, and the base of the kite is the last thing to lower. When I say base of the kite, I'm talking tailbone, base of the spine. So just be with this action, the rolling of the spine, the support of the chest. And we'll do one more. And then we're going to come to rest here. So you might wiggle yourself. If you have your tush on the bolster, maybe you wiggle it off and come down a little bit more. You can adjust your blocks. So now I have one block under the head, one under the heart. We're here in this very familiar position. You can stretch your legs out if you like, or keep them bent. And you have these blankets on either side. Hopefully they're still there. I'm going to just turn the palms up and rest the forearms on these blankets. And so you can always fold them, make it higher if you need to help the shoulders. Okay, I'm again feeling into the shoulder diamond. I'm just going to come up a little bit, just pulling the upper back down, and then coming back in. So if you need that, do it. Okay, release yourself in here as deeply as you can. Okay, so we're lounging in a beach chair. Let's use this image. Okay, I'm going to bring the feet back as if I'm going to lift the hips, but you're not going to. Just lock the feet in. Okay, bring your left ankle over the right knee. So we're in this, lounging on a beach chair. And then just drop into whatever is happening in your hips. So if I drop in here, I can feel the left hip is, from the weight of the knee opening, the right side is crunching. Okay, we're going to take that right foot and you're going to heel toe it over to the left. Bring the knee with it. And then just see, can I find balance in my hips here? So just walk your right foot around until you feel like, oh, two sides are balanced. And then just drop in again. So use your powers of awareness. Okay, soften your hip crease. And then we're going to start to wave this side to side in a very relaxed beach-like way. And so, if the foot doesn't touch the floor, that's fine. Okay, so every time I start this movement, it's really coming from the right foot. I'm going to bring it into the hips. The hips are gonna move and you find whatever. And if you're rolling down your bolster like I am, but you're still okay, then that's fine. Okay, good. And then we'll come to center, release the foot, readjust yourself if you're sliding, and then just rest in whatever way you like, legs out, legs bent. Good. Okay, and then walk your feet to whatever distance they need to be. Take the right ankle over the left knee, and then drop in so you feel, the hips shift. And then you'll walk your left foot over to the right until you feel some kind of balance. And maybe it's a back and forth. You have to just find it. And it could be very different than what the other side was. And then just drop in. It's the dropping in that makes you go, okay, I think I've got it. My hips feel balanced. My tush feels balanced. And then we'll start to bring in imbalance and wave this very gently side to side. And then notice what's initiating the action. Can you bring it into this mighty hip area that it's rolling side to side, that it's making the legs move? So you're just here for the experience of this ride. Okay. And then we'll come to center, release, readjust yourself on your bolster one last time. We'll just rest in. Maybe you want to stretch your legs out, whatever you like to do. On your beach chair, just receiving. And we'll take these arms for a fly before we come off. So start to lift your arms up shoulder height, and then maybe you pause for a moment. Oh, I'm just going to throw in one more thing about this shoulder diamond while we're here. So you know where your inner elbows are. With your arms lifted, turn the inner elbows down and notice how that affects the shoulders. So, I'm turning from the elbows and now my thumbs are pointing down. The shoulders are rolling forward. Now I'm going to turn from the elbows, the inner elbows. And just notice how that, in this position opens the chest. And then from here, friends, inhale. Fly your arms over your head. Maybe they want to cross like beautiful wings, and then you just take them back and down. Just find your little dance here. Okay, I'm going to use this support that I have underneath the shoulders. I'm almost pressing into it a little bit. And that way I can feel, is the right side doing the same work as the left? Okay, so we're just gathering information. And if you really want to take it, you can even just be with the eyes of the elbows and feel how they move as you do this. Get the shoulders to move, they have to move. Okay, I'm going to do one more little fly. And then we'll take the arms down, just do nothing, which is everything. Okay. I'm going to bend the knees, feet on the floor, and you can either roll to your side or press yourself up. Okay, and then we're going to do one last one. So these blocks might come out for me. Let's see, I'm going to try this with these blocks. So I'm going to maybe bring them closer together. So I have one on the highest and one on the lowest. And then here's what we're going to do, just so you know. I'm just going to stand up. You could turn your blocks around. I'm going to perch myself on the end here. Vertical can be fun if you embrace it. I'll take the arms back. And then here's like a good, with the arms in this plane, a good opportunity to just play with the shoulder girdle, shoulder diamond for a moment. Okay, what I am going to do eventually is lift the hips, move the base of the kite to the base of the blocks, and then lie down. Okay, but I'm going to experience this for a moment before I do that, because it's not often we have our arms in this plane. If I think about moving the eyes of the arms, I can really feel the shoulders move just by turning them. So I'm just going to do that for a few moments. Okay, that was fun. All right, and then you'll just very carefully lay yourself down. And if you need, you have your blankets there, you can always throw it underneath. This bolster is hitting me right underneath the clavicles or the tops of the shoulders here. If that's not happening for you, all torso size different, then, use your blankets. Okay, so here we are in this upside down. I'm just gonna draw that center of the back, the upper back down. Let the eyes of the chest, all these eyes of the chest right underneath the clavicles there, center of the clavicles. Let that be free. Okay, and then feel that maybe your shoulders are supported. If you want to stretch your legs out, if you love that, then go for that little back bend opportunity. If you want to take your arms over your head and just, open yourself nice here. I'm not flexing my feet, my legs are just relaxed. But now I'm going to flex them and be on the heels. Extend the arms a little more and then anchor into this bolster as best as you can. And do a little hip walking. If your body here feels, oh, this would feel really good if I just took those big toes in towards each other a little bit. Whatever feels good, be with this. Okay, and then I'm just gonna bend the knees and take the arms back out. Okay, bring your feet together. Oh, time. Okay, bring your feet together. We're gonna bring the left knee into your chest and you're gonna extend the left leg up to the sky, even if it's bent, it's all fine. It's gonna change the center of gravity, which is kind of what I'm looking for. I'm gonna let the leg drop towards my head, even though it's not gonna come to my head. Whatever you're doing, it's all fine. Leg is up. I'm going to extend the right leg. If that is interesting, maybe it hovers off the floor. Take a breath. Okay, to change legs, we're going to just take a wide circle as if your legs are connected by a long pole. And then you're just going to find the other side. Let the shoulders drop. Back of the heart rest. Face rest. Back of the head. One more breath. Okay, let's just change the legs. We're just going to do this circling. You're going to let them cross each other. And we'll just circle a few times here. So this is just fun. If you have cracking in your hips, like I'm feeling this or hearing this, it's very normal. It sounds weird, but it's not uncommon. So, okay, I'm going to do one more. Smiling, breathing, exploring this space above your head. And then you can come to rest. I'm going to lift both legs up in the air. If you want to put both feet on the floor, even hug your knees into your chest. That's fun. Just drop the weight. Okay, if your legs are lifted and if you move your legs away, that you might feel that the sacrum is anchored more. If you bring them in, the sacrum lifts and you find whatever would feel really nice and supportive. Yeah, that's it. Just get the legs over the head if they're lifted. If they're not, it's all fine. You still got the hips lifting. Okay. All right. So we're going to come out and set up for Shavasana. Before we come out, this is what I'm going to do. Take the arms not right by the sides, we're about 30 degrees away, palms down. And just start to let these legs sneak their way over my head, not coming to a backward somersault or anything like that. I'm just going to use this support of the bolster, see if maybe the thighs are going to come in. At some point, if you're okay with, this is Halasana, plow pose, I'm going to push the hands into the floor and lift the hips and take the feet over my head. But that, you find your place. The feet don't have to touch the floor. Maybe they do. I'm putting a lot of weight into the heart, into the shoulders. The thyroid is loving this. You might turn your palms up once you're in it, and you can even take your hands and rest them on your low back. Okay, whatever you're doing here, it's good work. And then I'll release. And slowly feel the whole back come back on the bolster. I'm going to put the feet on the floor. I'm going to pause here for a moment. And then I'm just going to wiggle myself back. So, just kind of wiggle yourself off the bolster until you feel the upper chest come down to the floor. Maybe the hips are just supported by the end of the bolster. Don't worry about your blocks. You can just find that and then feel this. Okay, now I'm going to put the legs over the bolster and the blocks are, wherever they hit. If that doesn't work for you, that's fine. I'm going to show you a little trick. I'm going to take one of these blankets. I'm going to open it up to maybe, nice wide space so I can rest it over the legs and tuck the legs in. So I'm just tucking them together and then I'll put it back and they're going to hold the legs now. So you could open the blanket wider than what I did and wrap it around your legs. If this feels nice, this is how I'm going to take Shavasana. Oh, my heating pad. Oh, okay, no heating pad today. Then you have the other blanket if you need support for your head. And this feels like I'm almost like in back traction deliciousness. If this worked for you. If it didn't, you make your Shavasana as lovely as you like it. And then we'll just melt ourselves in. Just releasing all that information. Just let it all be integrated into your subconscious. And then start to feel the flow of your breath. You feel that with every intake of breath, you are nourishing, feeding, releasing, receiving all that you need at this moment. And you can start to let that breath just settle. Feel the whole body receive the supports you've created. As if you with your name, you can say me, Johanna, can just rest into my body. Nowhere to be, no one to be, just be. Just melting yourself a little bit more deeply, even with a big sigh. Feel into your buoyancy. As the body gets heavier, something gets lighter. Any tension in your third eye, soften in your jaw, shoulders, the back of the neck, sides of the neck. And then maybe we're going to start to awaken just by anchoring the upper arms towards the floor. You feel the chest lift, get a little lighter. Good. And then you can move from there. Move your feet, your ankles, and bend at the elbows and rotate your wrists a few times. Like your fingers. Maybe move these joints. And then if you want to extend your arms and get really long, go for that. Okay, bend the knees. I'm going to place the feet on the bolster for a moment. Maybe wiggle myself right off the bolster. And then you can rest like that or hug your knees into your chest if that would feel good. Rolling to your side when you feel ready. And just resting there for at least 3 breaths. Just let it be this place of transition. Just gonna bask in the rest and bring that glow with me as I come upright. In the noties. Pardon me. Glow doesn't last as long as we'd like. So we just want to remember this feeling, this body that's been massaged through this practice, and maybe even you've awakened your own anatomical awareness a little bit more. So just embracing that as you come to sit. And as you feel ready, on an exhale, you'll bring the hands together in front of your heart and bow your chin. And just honor all that is at this moment, all of our life experience that has brought us to this moment and to the journey ahead, the mystery ahead. On your next inhalation, anchoring the tail of your kite, lengthen yourself tall, lift your chin, exhale this breath. We'll seal this practice with our May We Be Blessed mantra and one Om. Inhale. May we be blessed with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be healthy and may we be happy. We'll take a moment to just send that out, send it out. And inhale here. Breathe into your hands. Hold that there. A moment for your own silent prayers. And lifting your chin and offer this to yourself. And we'll offer it out. All right. So much love, guys. Mwah. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. Enjoy this rest of this beautiful day. Namaste, friends. See y'all.